This is Starquark talking. Today, I'll be reading along the Pride and Prejudice, Chapter 8, Part 2. But I would really advise you to make your purchase in that neighborhood and take Purbery for a kind of a model. There's not a finer county in England than Burberryshire, with all my heart. I will buy Purbery itself if Darcy would sell it. I'm talking of possibilities, Charles. Upon my word, Caroline, I should think it might more possible to get Purbery by purchase than by imitation. Elizabeth was so much caught by what passed as to leave her very little attention for her book, and soon laying it wholly aside, she drew near the card table and stationed herself between Mr. Bingley and his eldest sister to observe the game. "Is Miss Darcy much grown since the spring?" said Miss Bingley. "Will she be as tall as I am?" "I think she will. She is now about Miss Elizabeth Bennet's height, or rather taller. How I long to see her again. I never met with anybody who delighted me so much. Such a countenance, such a manners, and so extremely accomplished for her age. Her performance on the pianoforte is exquisite. It is amazing to me," said Mr. Bingley, "how young ladies can have patience to be so accomplished as they all are." "All young ladies accomplished, my dear Charles? What do you mean?" "Yes, all of them, I think. They all paint tables, cover screens, and net purses. I scarcely know any one who cannot do this at all, and I am sure I never heard a young lady spoken of for the first time without being informed that she was very accomplished." "Your list of the common extent of accomplishments," said Darcy, "has too much truth. The word is applied to many a woman who deserves it no otherwise than by netting a purse or covering a screen. But I am very far from agreeing with you in the estimation of ladies in general. I cannot boast knowing more than half a dozen in the whole range of my acquaintance that are really accomplished." "No, I am sure," said Miss Bingley. "Then," observed Elizabeth, "you must comprehend a great deal in your idea of an accomplished woman." "Yes, I do comprehend a great deal in it." "Oh, certainly," cried his faithful assistant. "No one can be really esteemed accomplished who does not greatly surpass what is usually met with. A woman must have a thorough knowledge of music, singing, drawing, dancing, all the modern language to serve the world, and besides all that, she must possess a certain something in her air and manner of walking, the tone of her voice, her address and expressions, or the word that be but half deserved. All this she must possess, added Darcy, and to all this she must yet add something more substantial in the improvement of her mind by extensive reading. I am no longer surprised at your knowing only 6 accomplished women. I rather wonder now at your knowing any. Are you so severe upon your own sex to adopt the possibility of all this? I never saw such a woman, or never saw such a capacity and taste and application and elegance as you described united. Mr. Starkhurst and Mrs. Bingley both cried out against the injustice of her implied thought, and were both protesting that they knew many women who answered this description. When Mr. Hurst called them to order with a bitter complaint of their intention to what was going on forward, as all conversation was thereby at an end, Elizabeth soon afterwards left the room. "Elsa Bennet," said Miss Bingley, when the door was closed on her, "it is one of those young ladies who seek to recommend themselves to the other sex by undervaluing their own, and with many men, I dare say, it is success, but in my opinion it is a paltry device, a very mean art." "Undoubtedly," replied Darcy, to whom this remark was chiefly addressed. "There's a meanness in all the arts which ladies sometimes condescend to employ for captivation. Whatever bears affinity to cunning is decisible." Miss Bingley was not so entirely satisfied with this reply as to continue the subject. Elizabeth joined them again, only to say that her sister was worse, and that she could not leave her. Bingley urged that Mr. Jones being sent for immediately, while his sisters, convinced that no country advice could be of any service, recommended an expression to town for one of the most eminent physician. The she would not bear off, but she was not so unwilling to comply with their brother's proposal, and it was settled that Mr. Jones should be sent for early in the morning. If Miss Bingley were not decidedly better, Bingley was quite uncomfortable. His sisters declared that they were miserable. Their solace, their richness, however, by duet after supper, while he could find no better relief to his feelings than by giving his housekeepers directions that every possible attention might be paid to the sick lady and her sister. That's all for today's show. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. That's the best way to support me as always. Once again, thank you a lot, and I will continue it tomorrow. Goodbye.